Well, thank you, Ashton, for chatting with us today.
Yeah, of course.
We are obviously here at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona, which is IMSA's first race of the season, and of course, starting off strong with a 24-hour race. So with that, IMSA, for the people who don't know, they have races from an hour and 40 minutes to 24 hours. What is your favorite thing about a 24-hour race compared to some of the shorter races?
Oh gosh, I mean, most people would say that it's the build-up of the last several hours, but really the 24-hour race is just a 24-hour sprint race. I mean, from the second the green flag drops, we are in a rush all the way to the end. And at least for my first Rolex, which was only last year, I felt like it was like that. Every single restart was the last lap restart. So it's really cool. It's a great experience. I mean, we start with the Super Bowl of all races for IMSA, and it's been a good start so far.
Amazing. You're good.
You're all right.
If you need to pass.
You can walk.
Starting with a 24-hour race, obviously very different than any other series, and you're still making modifications to the car. You're coming here and you're testing it for a week before you even go out on track. What is it like to start a series with a super intense race like a 24-hour race?
Gosh, well, when we got our car, it was brand new, so we've been working really hard and endlessly to getting it in the right window. Thankfully, Lamborghini's been so supportive and giving us a great baseline, and then my teammates have obviously had experience with Lamborghinis as well as I have, and so coming in and doing the roar testing is just really making sure we got all the electrical side dialed in, and then also focusing on the setup and then getting anybody new to the series up to speed with all the traffic. I mean, we're talking about 60 cars out there, and it could be a lot. So coming into it and then finally closing out the roar with qualifying day is so important, but it's also a 24-hour race. I mean, some of the cars that finished in top 5 last year qualified nearly last. So it's impressive to see how far it comes, but at the end of the day, it is a sprint race, so it's just a long and grueling, mentally challenging, physically challenging event, and we're always up for the task.
Yeah, fantastic. Just a general IMSA or racing question, as you know, in your career, what do you think is one of the most surprising things about racing that fans or audiences wouldn't know?
Gosh, I think that for me at least, when I was a fan, I was always surprised at how many cars were on track and how many different cars were on track. And then on top of that, the vast majority of drivers are in a certain age group where now we have 9 women. And so it's pretty awesome to see how you could have a favorite of one car, but then you've got so many different, we have women over here, and then we have some young guns like my teammate's 17, and so you just get a very different view on it. But also some of the cars have got some really cool liveries, and even though I feel like we've got like this Dark Knight vibe because we've got a mostly black Lamborghini, it feels something proud, and it's been pretty cool to see the new drivers come in and get to experience all the traffic, and then knowing that at one time they were a fan and you're watching 4 or 5 different cars go through one corner at the same time, and being in the car sometimes when it is that congested can be cool, but it also can be stressful, and that puts on a great show for the fans. I mean, whenever I used to be a fan, I used to literally stand outside the WTR tent on pit lane and at Road Atlanta, and I'd be at the fence, like my hands through the fence, and just like watching their pit stops, and they can still do that. And now I'm on the other side. It's really cool. It's like a proud feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
On a completely different tangent, you have some pretty cool sponsors. In any future races or series that you want to race in, or even just see not on your car and anyone else's car, are there any brands that you'd love to see come in as a sponsor in racing?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I would love to see more like on the athletic side, because I feel like this is so physically demanding. Everybody's got these one-off little partnerships, but getting something big, like I just recently partnered with Garmin, is really nice because they also support me as an athlete. You're good. No, you're fine. No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, I just partnered with Garmin, so I'm excited to see that come out.
The realities of track life.
Yeah.
You can do a blooper reel.
You're fine.
I mean, you don't.
No,
Sorry.
you're good.
Athletic brands would be really cool to see, because I feel like that there's such an opportunity for drivers as being high performance athletes. I think sometimes people are aware that it's very physically demanding, but they're not totally tuned into it. We will finish this.
It's okay. We can move on to the next question if you're good too.
That's fine.
Drop it. All right, perfect. For fun questions.
Okay.
What is your hype up routine or hype up song? Do you have one?
Oh gosh, I mean, I don't know why, I really love "Did It" on them by Nicki Minaj.
Oh
That's like my jam, and I always listen to that when I'm like about to get ready to work out like a hard run. That's just my jam.
Yeah, I love that.
Smile when you walk by.
Oh,
Smile when you walk by.
You're good.
No, you're already in it. Walk.
It's fine.
You're in it.
Strut.
You're in it.
Perfect. So you have a great hype up song. I love that. When you're getting ready to do the different stints in the 24-hour race, obviously you have to try to not be awake for 24 hours. Is there also a way that you calm down after you get out of the car?
For me, like, I get super anxious and excited whenever I'm in pit lane. So no matter if I'm getting in the car, out of the car, the energy in pit lane is always really high, which is good because everybody's got a game plan and a focus and a job to do. And so for my job, I can't continue to perform like I need if I'm not somewhat resting or recharging. And I have a hard time actually falling asleep in between stints if I know I'm going to be getting in soon. But anytime I know my stints are over, I'm like lights out within 5 minutes. I mean, I have really easy for me to fall back asleep. But last year, I always joke with Kyle about this because he and I were both off shift for 3 or 4 hours. And we fell asleep in the RV, but our TV was going with the race on it. And it was like clockwork. We literally both woke up like Christmas morning and looked at the TV. And we looked at each other and we were like, we're still in it. And it was like this little moment, and we were like smiling. All you could see was our heads up behind the bed. Yeah. But moments like that are really special because you're, as a driver, recharging, getting ready, but you wake up and you're like, the relief is we're still in the game. And we were in the top 3 whenever we woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So it's nice.
It's got to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Cool. And walk out.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you can walk.
Go ahead.
Just smile.
Okay.
Do the finger gun.
Perfect. Okay, last, but certainly not least.
Come on. Okay. We'll do it.
Last but certainly not least, if you were a Mario Kart character, who would you choose?
Gosh. Princess Peach, duh.
Amazing.
Yeah. We always joked last year when I was with Mario that he obviously was by standard, he had to be Mario.
Of course.
And I was like, I don't really want to be Princess Peach. And then one time we showed up to the track and they had the little characters on our car and I'm like, this is what it is.
I love that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Deb.